Welcome to Chiefs Live Overdrive, brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers. On the phone with us is the man who many consider the anchor of Kansas City's free agency class in 2012. Right tackle Eric Winston is on the phone. And Eric, I'm going to cut right to the chase. When you came into Kansas City, you had lunch at Jack Stack Barbecue. Was that your selling point in picking Kansas City?
The burn ends were a part of it, I guess. But you know, that was a whole other experience into itself. Yeah. The Kansas City barbecue scene, I got to say, is something else. I didn't realize how big of a part of the culture it is there, and I'm excited about taste testing every single barbecue joint around the city.
Well, you set off a great Twitter debate amongst Chiefs fans, because that is a big debate in Kansas City. You'll come to know. But about the recruiting process, fans really took to Twitter, tagging you at Eric Winston about coming to Kansas City. How much of an impact did Chiefs fans have on you ultimately choosing the Chiefs?
Well, you know what? It's always nice to be wanted, and I really felt like the Kansas City Chiefs organization and the fans made a good impression upon me on that. I think they did more so than any other team. They really made me feel wanted and wanted to be there. So wanted me to be there, I should say. So they were great on Twitter. They were any way they could get a hold of me. I felt like they were trying to get a hold of me. We actually ran into a couple of people like, hey, you know, that's very, you know, you come in and you know this and the bellhop at the hotel, to the radiologist, you know, everybody I had to run into was excited about me being there, and it's definitely a good feeling.
It was a full court press by the fans, but as you said in your conference, Carl, it was a full court press to get you from GM Scott Pioli, head coach Romeo Crennel, offensive line coach Jack Bicknell. Where do you see yourself fitting into on the field, and what sold you about the Chiefs as a football organization?
Well, you know, hopefully at right tackle. I mean, I think that's what they brought me in for, and that's where they want me to play. Obviously, you know, where Coach Crennel says to go, I'll go. You know, I've never been one of those players that I have to play this position or that's it. So, but I mean, as far as I've been told, and as far as I think they're concerned, they want me at right tackle and to keep doing my thing. I think I've proven so far throughout my time in the league that I can be an effective tackle and play at a high level, and that's what I plan to continue to do coming into Kansas City. What
was some of the plan, the overall big picture plans that Coach Crennel and Scott Pioli talked to you that made you think, you know, this is a great place I'm going to come and really build some things for not just 2012 but for years to come in KC?
Sure. You know, you look at the way the roster is made up, you look at the additions they're making. This is something that they're building for the long term, and you can definitely tell that there's a plan in place, that they're excited about what they got coming in and what they already have here. And I think you look at the roster now with the additions of Boss and, you know, obviously Brady Quinn as a backup to Matt Castle, has already proven that he can win a lot of games in this league, to everything. You know, Jamal Charles, Peyton Hillis, obviously. You know, the list goes on and on about the weapons they have here, and then the existing guys and all like that. You know, I'm part of the class that they're bringing in, and that doesn't even count the draft class that they got coming up this year. So there's a lot of excitement, but there's a lot of excitement for a good reason. You know, you can't manufacture some of this stuff. So it's an excitement for a good reason. I'm excited about it because I think I can, after being in the league this long, I know what a good roster looks like, and I know what kind of a good team looks like, and you can definitely tell that this team has it.
Eric, fans hear about free agency visits, and obviously people know how the process goes and in the college game and recruiting, but will you just kind of give us an overall view of what are free agent visits like? What do they consist of at the NFL level when you visit the Dolphins, when you visit Kansas City? What goes on in those visits?
Well, they're still a lot different than the college and the pro visits. You know, I think that the situation I think the guys are in are different. I think the teams are in different situations. So it's, you know, in college it's the red carpet and this and that. It has very little to do with business. I think the NFL unfortunately has a lot to do with business. But at the same time, like I said, the other pieces have to come together, and they did in Kansas City as well as at this business side. So, you know, it's different. It's tough on both sides. I think it's much tougher on both sides. In the pros, much more so than in college. I think it's just tough on the coaches and the kids. Obviously, have a tough decision, but at the same time, it's not as tough to know, you know, what exactly the next move is. And you know, it's stressful. It's not it's an easy time. It's you know, the lack of security and the lack of not knowing where you're going to end up is obviously for me, it was very stressful having a family, but at the same time, you know, we're going to be all right, and Kansas City just seemed like such a natural fit for me and my family.
Eric, I'll close with the question that I got most from Chiefs fans, and that was, what took so long? You were here for about 2 days. Fans were getting worried if you were heading to Baltimore. Were you heading to St. Louis? Why wasn't it an extended visit and with the timing?
Yeah, it was just a process, you know, and sometimes things last longer, and I think everybody was just doing their due diligence, and sometimes things move fast, and unfortunately in my case it didn't. You know, it moved slow, but you know, I think, you know, I've got to say that the organization, Scott Pioli and the rest of the guys there did a great job of keeping transparency important. You know, they were an open book. I think we were an open book. And at the end of the day, I think that really helped how this whole thing came together. And as long as, you know, I believe, and I think Mr. Pioli believes the same thing, that, you know, if you're up forth and you're honest and you're an open book, that it's much easier to do business that way. And I think that's the reason a lot of this got done.
Well, Eric, I can assure you you'll receive a warm reception in Kansas City, so let me be not the first, but one of the many to welcome you to the Chiefs.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, take care, Eric.
All right, bye-bye.